Morning. My name is Rick Williams. I'm Chair of the Development Committee. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Arroyo,
Arroyo here.
Doherty,
Doherty here.
Garcia,
Garcia here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal present.
Linder, Pepe,
Tempe here.
Leonard, Berman, Williams,
Williams present.
Roth.
Roth here.
In-person quorum.
We have remote attendance requests from Mr. Doherty, Mr. Berman, and Mr. Lindner.
So moved.
Any objection?
Hearing.
Seeing none, they will be admitted to participate. Next order of business is the approval of the December 16th, 2024 minutes. May I have a motion?
Iqbal moves.
Arroyo seconded.
Iqbal moves, Arroyo seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. I don't believe we have anyone signed up for public comment, do we? We will move on to monthly financials. Any discussion? A motion. Okay. Monthly financials are on file. Building and Zoning Division, Mr. Van Kerkhoff.
Good morning, Mark Van Kerkhoff, Director of Development and Community Services. And first and foremost, I want to welcome our new county board members to the committee. I want to let you know, welcome, and that our team is available to answer any questions you might have about the roles that our department plays in the unincorporated area, particularly for building permits, zoning actions, and property code enforcement. So welcome this morning. I am happy to report for our building team that all our positions are filled. We're also very grateful that our building department is run by staff in-house. Some communities do outsource that. We're grateful to have two Illinois licensed architect plan reviewers, so we can do our plan reviews in-house, our building inspectors on board, and our very good team working on our building permits for our constituents. Also for our zoning team, I have with me this morning just to make sure you get to meet them and see their faces. Keith Burkout, who's been with the Development Department for over 18 years, but prior to that, he served on the Zoning Board of Appeals, so he has a long history and institutional knowledge of our zoning ordinance and zoning activities in the unincorporated parts of Kane County. And Natalie Zine, who just recently joined us on our team, and she's brought a variety of different experiences from the private sector and other municipalities, including one in Kane County. And we're really glad to have her. She's bringing some really good insights and new ideas as we continue to work to improve our process on things. So very grateful for this team that we have here. Also want to let you know that you can, contact me, but you can also contact either Keith or Natalie if you have any concerns about zoning or constituent concerns in your district. I also just want to take a minute, and we have kind of a light agenda, only one zoning petition this morning. In terms of what happens before these zoning petitions get to you, every Monday morning we have a interdepartment staff meeting, which includes Doris usually from KDOT and Jody Welnick or some of her team from Water Resources, as well as the health department. And we use that as a sort of a pre-application meeting for people who want to do some action with their property. And that way it's sort of a one-stop shop meeting. They can get input from all the departments in terms of what might be required, give them feedback on their potential rezoning action, or it might be a new subdivision development, those kind of things. Keith and Natalie send out those meeting notices. We do send them to the board members who those are agenda items are in your district. So if you get one of those emails and you want to join us, you're welcome to do that, and just to be involved in that part of the process. But that really helps give good information to people who want to do things, and helps us guide them through the process. If it does require rezoning, then it goes to the zoning board of appeals, who they hold the public hearing and take most of the information in. And then the petition makes its way first next to the county development committee, and then the full county board takes action on the zoning. So just a little bit in the process. We have one zoning petition that was before you this morning that was heard last week by our zoning board of appeals. So with that, we'll move on to that petition unless there's any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Arroyo?
No questions.
You're the new guy on the block. Okay, good.
Okay.
Our first petition is number 4651, petitioner of the State Bank of Geneva, Seaburn Homes. Is there anybody here on behalf of the petitioner? Would you please step up to the podium and introduce yourself, please?
My name's Ashley Lynham, and I'm here for Ken Bernhardt.
Mr. Van Kerkhoff, would you like to introduce the project, please?
Yes, we have a PowerPoint. Here we go. We can put that up. And Keith Burkhout mainly worked with the petitioner on this, so he and I are available this morning, but we'll kind of run through the PowerPoint here. This is only petition number 4651. It's in Mr. Gripe's district. Thank you. There we go. So the applicant is Ken Bernhardt on behalf of Seaburn Homes. The owner is the State Bank of Geneva. They're requesting rezoning from E3 Estate District to PUD Planned Unit Development to allow the existing residential structure to continue to be used as office space and outdoor area for storage and materials for Grandview Homes and Seaburn Custern Homes businesses. It's on Redgate Road, right at the corner of Redgate Road in Randall and St. Charles Township. This is where it's located on the 2040 conceptual land use strategy. It's in the area known for our critical growth area. In the yellow, it's kind of right on the close to the edge of the critical growth area in the urban corridor. And here it is on the 2040 land use map. It's in an area that's primarily planned for single family residential, rural residential. Here's a close-up on the future land use map. You can see Randall Road. You can see the pattern of subdivisions in that area around it. It'll be a little bit clearer on the aerial, but you see how this is a little bit of a unique location within that rural residential district. Here's on the zoning map. This is an area of the county that back in the 50s and 60s, there was a broad rezoning of lots of land to the E3 Estate Residential District. And since that action has happened, there's been a number of subdivisions that have been developed as part of the E3, as well as some other non-residential uses, like a number of churches along the corridor on Randall Road here. Here's an aerial, and again, you can see that land use pattern, as well as the city of St. Charles just to the east. Here's a close-up, and I mentioned some of the unique other uses right in the area. There's some single-family residential. Hosanna Lutheran Church, one of the churches in the corridor, is right to the south. Seven Oaks Farm, an equestrian facility, and then one other neighboring single-family home, which is actually one of our historic landmark homes. So the proposed plan would use the existing single-family home for offices for the two businesses, parking, which already exists for the two businesses, as well as outdoor storage, some limited area for some of the construction-related equipment and things that they have for the two businesses as well. When the house was originally built as a single-family home, there's a provision that allows for a home builder to use a home as a model home for a sales office and for people who are building, they're going to build other homes for to do material selections. So that's how this project started out. This home was never occupied. as a single-family residence. Seaburn Homes grew quickly after constructing this home and has been a fine home builder in a number of neighborhoods in Kane County, a local builder. When the recession happened, they pivoted to buying distressed and foreclosed homes under the other business name, Grandview Homes. And both are co-located in this house. Here's a closer up aerial. You can see the existing house, the parking area, as well as the adjacent historic landmark home. Here's a photo from the corner. You can see the house. You can barely see a couple of the signs that exist, and I'll get to those in just a minute. This is the outbuilding that exists for their other business use. You can see some of the fencing and screening surrounding it. Here's some other photos. Again, a better picture of the two different business signs that exist. So these two signs, we've been working with the petitioner and with KDOT. One of the stipulations we're going to request to be added this morning is that the signs get relocated so that they're out of any future right-of-way needs that KDOT has, and also combine them to one sign. We've talked about this with the petitioner, and they are fine with that as well. But so those two signs will be combined into one. And then here's just some interior photographs you can see of the different office cubicle spaces being used in the house. So the Regional Planning Commission, this was not applicable. Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval with the following stipulations. The petitioner shall verify the septic system is sized appropriately for office use in the Kane County Health Department. Petitioner will submit a survey to the county staff review to ensure the two existing signs are relocated out of the rights of way. The zoning board recommended approval with those two stipulations. We do have 3 additional stipulations that we've discussed with the petitioner coming from our zoning team here, that the existing outdoor storage shall not be expanded from its current size and shall continue to be screened on all sides. Any future modifications to the storage area shall require an adjustment to the approved PUD. The petitioner shall apply for establishment of use permit with Kane County Building Department for the proposed office use within 60 days, just to establish that under the building code. The petitioner shall apply for a sign permit within 60 days of a board approval. Permit shall include a survey illustrating the relocation of signage out of the right-of-way and easements of Randall Road. Shall also reduce the total number of signs in the property from 2 to 1, and shall not exceed 32 square feet in display area on both sides and 20 feet in height. And that's basically the restriction, the requirements for our business district signage. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Ashley is here as well if there's any questions.
At this point, I think it'd be appropriate to entertain a motion for approval.
Arroyo motions.
Iqbal, second.
Moved by Arroyo, seconded by Iqbal. Any discussion?
Just my knowledge only. Is that permanent or temporary petition?
This would be a permanent use. It didn't cover it in the location map, but it's in a very busy intersection. It's somewhat isolated from any other residential uses other than the historic home next door.
And it's the only house. It looks like the only house in that area. So it's not going to be someone living there because there's no other homes there, right? Just the only house.
Just the one immediately next door, but otherwise it's not part of a neighborhood or community.
Very good.
Mr. Tepe?
I'm a little bit confused as to why a change is necessary. This has been the use of this home, of this particular property for a long time. Why is it now changing?
So the owner, Seaburn Homes, has requested this basically to memorialize and make it permanent. Typically, when we've had a development where someone has used the model home sales office provision, they will eventually vacate the home as a business office and sell it as a single family residence. In this case, the petitioner does not feel that that's really a viable action to take because nobody would really want to buy a house of this size at that location. And they just want to kind of get it all established permanently.
And this particular property is not contingent to where the homes are being built, right?
Correct. That's correct.
It's not adjacent, I should say. It's
Correct. Unlike some of them, like in Mill Creek, where Shoding would have had, they've had a variety of different locations that they used as a model home office. They would eventually sell that and move on. In this case, they used this because they were a high home end builder and they had lots that were scattered in different subdivisions. This was their like main model home sales office, but it was not ever part of a larger development.
And there's not really going to be an increase in traffic on that corner, because I know that particular corner had a death that occurred, and required some changes to the traffic light and a few things of that nature, but I don't think they're going to increase the traffic there, are they?
They're not, and that's part of the reason for the stipulations on any intensification for that. One of the reasons for the PUD is that the PUD zoning and the site plan become the zoning, so it can't be intensified without going through further review.
Got it. Makes sense.
So Mr. Van Kerkhoff, it's my understanding because there's more than one use, in other words, because Grandview Homes is operating at that location, in addition to Seaburn, that's what triggers the need to rezone the property. If they were just selling homes out of that location, we probably wouldn't need to do the rezoning. Is that correct?
Correct, because Grandview Homes, part of the business is a more of a fix and flip, buying distressed homes, repurposing them, selling them. It was very important when we had the foreclosure strike crisis. They did quite a few homes in Kane County, which was great. And they continue, to do that business. So it's really not just a model home for a new home builder anymore.
The question that I would have is, what's the plan when the use ceases? In other words, you sell the house to a home buyer. Are we going to come back and rezone the property back to E3, or are we going to leave it at PUD?
My understanding from working with Ken Bernhardt is that they don't ever see that being viable as a single family home. So they would continue to operate both businesses, which is why they're requesting the permanent zoning change.
Any further discussion? The one question I would have, Mr. Arroyo, does your motion include the additional stipulations that Mr. Van Kerkhoff read?
Rescind it. No.
No.
There's a question.
You made a motion to approve, which is fine. That motion was seconded. We're going to vote on that. But I just wanted for the record to be clear that there's some additional stipulations that are not in our packet. Is that correct, Mr. Van Kerkhoff?
That's correct. So there'd be stipulations 3, 4, and 5 that you see on the screen. I'm happy to go over those again, but we would recommend that you add those to the motion, and then it will be included with the stipulations on the county.
I just wanted to make clear that Mr. Arroyo's motion included those additional stipulations. Okay, thank you. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Arroyo, Doherty,
Doherty, aye.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Tepe, yes.
Berman. Oh, I'm sorry, he's not here. Williams.
Williams, yes.
Passes.
Thank you. This matter will, I think, go to executive next,
No,
Thank you.
county board.
straight to county board, excuse me. So
Thank you, everyone.
in February. Thank you. Okay, Property Code Enforcement Division, Mr. Van Kerkhoff.
Great, thank you. Yeah, John Malla couldn't join us this morning, but he is our head of our Property Code Enforcement Division, which is for the unincorporated area. And again, you're happy to reach out to myself or John directly for any concerns in your district that are unincorporated. He's very helpful. The report of their activities is in your packet. And also just wanted to pass along that he and one of our property code inspectors attended a 8-hour training class regarding property maintenance and solar panels, the types of things that can happen over time from a property code or property maintenance issue, including bird nesting and other things. And also Brittany on the team has been working on scanning a lot of some of the old file records into our into digital so that we have access to those as well. So otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions?
We'll have access to the budgets eventually. I have no device. I don't have an email yet. so
You don't,
sorry.
oh, you don't have a computer yet?
Alex, can you get closer to the mic?
I'll get one day.
No, get closer to the mic, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't have anything yet.
We'll talk offline.
Thank you, sir.
Planning and special projects, are you handling this, Mr. Van Kirkhoff, as well?
Yes, our, for the new board members, our planning and special projects team, a lot of them are working on projects and programs that report to either the Jobs Committee, the E&E Committee, or Agriculture Committee. But this is our home committee in terms of our overall department. So we have a summary of their activities. I don't go over those in detail, but it's a way to kind of compile everything that team is doing, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on. Mr. Van Kirkhoff, I believe there's a resolution you have to introduce.
Yeah, this is an annual resolution required for the authorizing number of procurement cards issued to our department. So we just ask that you pass this along. I think this goes to finance and the full county board next, but it's just a good housekeeping measure to make sure we're current on who has the cards. You see up on the screen, our card holders are myself, Karen Miller, on our planning team, who heads up our Fabulous Fox Water Trail initiatives. And then two of our people working primarily with our local foods and our agriculture program, Matt Tansley and Sarah Castro. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
May I have a motion to approve?
Arroyo moves.
Motion by Arroyo, second
Paul,
by
second.
Iqbal. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Arroyo,
Yes. Arroyo, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Tepe,
That'd be yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes. Next item on our agenda is our subdivision report. Ms. Walnick.
Thank you. My name is Jody Walnick. I'm the Director of Environmental and Water Resources for the county. I want to welcome the new board members here. Under my department, we have three distinct sub-departments. One is subdivision, one is water resources, and the other is environmental. This item falls under the subdivision, and normally you would see Deanne Orlick, who leads that division. We also have water resources, and under water resources, we handle the county's stormwater permitting as well as drainage complaints and our cost share drainage program, which you'll see approvals coming through this committee for, as well as our water supply planning for the county. And our final sub-department is our environmental area that reports mainly to E&E committee. They are our recycling coordinator and our sustainability team working on the climate action implementation plan. So if you have any questions as new board members, feel free to get a hold of me or any member of my team. Just a little background on our land cash. The land cash program is intended for new homes that are being built in the county that will generate population to our schools and our parks. The intent with the land cash is because the taxes on those the newer homes are delayed, is to make the school districts and the park districts whole in that period before the taxes come online. So as part of the building permit process and as part of the subdivision process, we collect land cash fees for every lot that's developed in Kane County that will generate children and is considered residential. So this is our yearly report. Our land cash meetings that make up a subgroup of this committee are usually held right before this committee meeting, so as not to add another meeting onto your schedule. And those are really only held if somebody's asking for relief from the land cash ordinance. Yearly, you'll see a report of all the land cash that's collected. The county does collect these amounts and then they're sent off to the school districts. So this year we collected funds for District 302, 303, and 304, as well as the Kane County Forest Preserve, St. Charles Park District, and then Kane County Forest Preserve for the last two. So there's no action on this item. We would just ask that the report be placed on file.
Okay, thank you. The reports will be placed on file. Moving on to environmental resources, Ms. Walnick.
We have one resolution under environmental and water resources. Again, as Director Van Kerkhoff mentioned, we also have in my department several credit cards. There are only two of them, so I listed them under the now therefore be resolved. One for myself and one for our recycling coordinator, and we would just ask for approval of that.
I'll entertain a motion. Motion moved by Mr. Arroyo,
Iqbal second.
Mr. Iqbal, are you sure you're on this committee?
Land cash, yeah. Think I am.
No, Work Development Committee. I'm sorry.
Yes,
The reason I ask is I don't see you on the list as a member. So I'm,
that would be good. That would be good if I'm not.
maybe we should have the motion by
Question,
somebody.
question, Mr. Chairman. Do we have to redo all our motions from
Oh,
earlier?
well, we'll have to talk to the state attorney about that. I just noticed Mr. Iqbal is not listed on the committee, so I entertain a motion, a second by somebody else, and then we'll come back to that issue. So you motion, Mr. Arroyo.
Sure.
Garcia will second.
Ms. Garcia moves. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll. No, excuse me, we can decide voice vote, right?
No.
I think we can. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Do you have a quorum issue then with him not being on the?
Well, I think we do.
You're down to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Tepe?
Mr. Iqbal is on this committee.
Okay, thank you. Can we just make sure that the next time we have him on the list? So then- Thank you. Sorry for the confusion
Okay.
with all the changes. I didn't know if something happened.
But I thought it was a good news, but it didn't turn out.
Well, that's good news. We don't have to go back and fix everything. So thank you for that. Okay, water
what-
resources, Ms. Walnick.
Wait, a question though. You're looking at what to determine that at the county development where all the agendas are?
I'm
Because
looking at
Mr.
the
Aurora-
last email from Jane Talish,
Okay,
okay, that had all of the,
okay.
all of the final ones on there.
We've confirmed it was a scrivener's error on the agenda. Mr. Iqbal is
Okay.
on the committee. I apologize to Mr. Iqbal for the confusion. Ms. Walnick,
I don't have anything under water
Okay.
resources.
Office of Community Reinvestment. Is Mr. Berger online? I don't see him. In your agenda packet is a resolution for the authorization of the renewal of a contract for Continuum of Care Support Services for 2025. You know anything about this, Mr. Van Kerkhoff or Ms. Walnick? Anything?
That's why there were only 6 names.
Other than, I'm somewhat familiar with their office contracts with a consultant for support services for the continuum of care. The continuum of care is the name that's known for services provided from emergency shelter for homelessness to supportive longer-term and transitional housing. The county convenes this with different communities and service providers. This seems to be a renewal of a contract for support services. So I would assume that Director Berger is asking for your approval of this.
Yes, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number TMP 25 114.
Iqbal moves.
Just moved by Iqbal, seconded by
Doherty.
Doherty seconds. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Arroyo, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, aye.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Tepe,
Yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes.
Passes.
Any new business to discuss? Seeing none, can I get a motion to replace the reports on file?
So moved.
Moved by Iqbal,
I'll second
seconded
it.
by
Arroyo,
Arroyo.
second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I believe, Mr. Cermak, we have a need for executive session. Is that correct? I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss the release of closed session minutes.
Arroyo, move to second.
Moved by Arroyo, seconded by
Doherty.
Doherty seconds. Clerk, please call the roll.
Arroyo,
Arroyo, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, aye.
Garcia,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Tepe,
Yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes. Back in open session, would the clerk please call the roll?
Arroyo,
We're here.
Doherty,
Right here.
Garcia,
Garcia here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal present.
Linder, Tepe,
Steppy here.
Leonard, Berman, Williams,
Williams here.
Roth.
Roth here.
Person Cron.
I would entertain a motion to release the closed session minutes for July 16th, 2024. Moved by
Iqbal.
Iqbal moves, seconded by Arroyo. Roll call vote.
Arroyo, Doherty,
Doherty, aye.
Garcia, Iqbal,
Yes.
Iqbal, yes.
Tepe,
Steppy, yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes. There being no further business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Arroyo, seconded by Iqbal. All in favor, say aye
Aye.
or adjourn. Thank you.